And I'd like to, just the recording has started. I'd like to welcome everybody in this mini workshop. Our mini workshops are called Learning Bites, and this one is called Creating and Training Chatbots in MagicSchool. I am Natasha Nikap, Senior Project Manager at SoFIA, School of the Future International Academy. We are a non-profit organization that we support teachers and school leaders in their effort to improve their operations and deliver better quality education to all students around the world. In this workshop, I'd like to welcome Nicos Paphitis. Nicos Paphitis is uh, an expert on technology in education in EdTech. You can see all his badges on his screen. He's been very active in teaching training and in providing his colleagues with expertise. He's a digital learning specialist, and I'll pass it on to him to introduce himself and get us straight to the content of this very interesting workshop. Thank you again for joining.
Right. Hi, everyone. I'm just going to assume everybody can hear me and see me. And Nadasa, thank you very much for inviting me. I love the term learning bites. So I'm not going to waste a lot of time because I've been told this is a 30-minute thing, and 30 minutes isn't a lot of time. And I want to cover quite a lot of content with you. Now, it is termed as a how would I say, a workshop, but it's very hard to do an interactive workshop with you guys in 30 minutes because we'll only get an account created. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some things which I do and some of the things that I use to train other educators from all sorts of ages, educators in primary, in junior, senior school. And I think you're going to find some of these tools fantastic because a lot of the AI resources, first thing I'm going to do though, I'm just going to spotlight for everyone. And because I essentially use my camera for my screen. So now can you just confirm that you've got a nice big screen of me sitting there seeing you? You should be able to see me nice and clearly and see my screen.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes, we can.
Good. So essentially AI, big thing. It's all AI these days. And it's all about seeing things like content creation for educators, making our life easier, helping us to rewrite things, check assessments. But this particular learning bite, as we call it, this is about the learning part. This is the student side. How do we use AI and use these little chatbots to support the students? So I'm going to jump straight into this. And as we've seen, we're going to be using MagicSchool. Now, before I begin, I'm going to share with you this way here. I'm going to put this up in the chat area, so you're going to have access to this. This gives you a lot of the resources. So there you go, that's in the chat. Essentially, this way here tells you a little bit about MagicSchool. It shows you how to create an account with a Microsoft Education account. If you use your 365 school education account, you actually have access to a few more features, but not that many more, because most of the things in MagicSchool is free. I then show you how you can create an account with a personal account in this way. Then there's navigating MagicSchool, the AI interface, the different tools. If you've never used MagicSchool, this is going to be useful. And this is the part that we're going to be working on today, the Magic Student area. So here I show you with cards exactly how to do everything that I'm going to be covering today. Okay. And here are some of the things that we're going to be creating. So this way here is essentially a summary of what I'm going to be using today, so you can use as a resource later on. Okay, so let's get started with MagicSchool. Now, MagicSchool gives us, as soon as we go in, it's actually updated the interface recently. And when you're going to MagicSchool, you see all these wonderful AI tools that you can use for free. Now, what is the difference between MagicSchool and things like ChatGPT? Well, essentially, you don't have to worry about the prompts as much because a lot of the prompting is done in the background. You just give some keywords on what you want, depending on the tool that you use. And if you've used MagicSchool, you know how wonderful it is. But today, what we're looking at Magic Student. Now, I'm going to jump to that. Now, the interface for Magic Student now is here. As soon as you go into MagicSchool, you can see, let me just zoom this in a little bit. You can see here where it says Magic Student. And when you click on this, it's going to take you to Magic Student. Now, if you've used this before, you're going to notice that the interface has changed a little bit. And before I show you how to create a room and create the bots, I'm going to show you an example of a room, things that I do with my students and some things that might interest you. So I'm going to go to my student rooms. These are the different rooms that I have. And here I can see in the tools, the different tools I have in each room. I'm just going to open this one here, my Year 10 and Year 11 support chatbots. So if I click on my ellipses and simply go to the join info, as I said, I'm going to show you how to do this in a second. I'm going to open a incognito window and paste this link. So this is the link that we would share with our students. Okay, whether you're going to send it by email, you're going to make a QR code or whatever. I'm using an incognito window to show you that the students do not need an account with MagicSchool to access the tools that you give them access to. So I'm just going to click on accept. They type their name. I'm just going to put Nick and join the room. And when they go in the room that you have shared the link to with your students, they will see the different tools that you have given them. Now, this is one that I use with my students. I have a chatbot for each theory topic that they have to learn. So, for example, types of components of computer system, networks. If I open one of these, just so you can see, let's go chapter 3 storage. When they click on generate, and it's basically going to give them the ability to ask any question they like about this topic. It's going to list first what they have to learn for this chapter, storage. So it gives them an introduction there, and then they can ask something. But if they ask something which is outside of the scope of this bot, which I've trained it to only answer about storage device, for example, what is a LAN in networks? Oh, I put an A LAN. It should be just LAN. Let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so it says, I need to politely, let me just zoom that in so you can see it, politely redirect you. I'm specifically focused on helping with the storage chapter. So it's only going to limit its answers to the topics that you give it and the training resources you give it. As I said, we're going to train the bots and design them, but I think it's best if you see how they work on the student end first. So that's a fantastic thing here. And they can just ask questions, for example, in one paragraph, what is SSD? So this has got something to do with storage devices, and it's only going to focus its answers on the particular topic for this syllabus, the CIE ICT 0417 course, and it gives me an answer. Now, if some of your students, their native language is not English, and from what I'm understanding, most of your students, English is not their native language, and they need help to understand the text, they can ask it to rewrite it in a simpler way, but you've also got the action buttons here, and they can translate this into different languages. Okay, so there's a lot of languages here. And ones that are not there, they're continuously adding to these languages. So they should be able to find something which is more native to them to help them understand. And they also have the ability to click on the read aloud, and it will read the text to them. Not sure if you're going to hear this. So I don't know if you can hear. So that also helps students, you know, if they're dyslexic like me and they find it hard to read things and they listen to things, it's easier for them. That's a great tool. Let me show you the other two, and then we'll start creating a room and creating the tools so you can see what we have. So what I've got here, I've made this room here. I'm just going to show you the other tools. So if I go to join info, let's go to an incognito. So this is, again, this is what we would share. They will type a name. It doesn't matter what the name is. So this room I've made basically for this presentation here, I've got 3 different bots. Now, the first one is like the ones I've shown you here. It's to do with using resources for them to ask questions and get answers which are focused on the topic that you give them. This one here, Helen, this one's, you inspired this one. So, and she's actually in this meeting. So if you want to get your students to, let's say, practice asking questions, learning about historic figure or anything like that, get them, tell them what historic figure they're going to be interviewing, get them to prepare their questions in advance. And that's a learning activity as well. So when they click on this, they will be actually able to have a conversation with Mahatma Gandhi or any historic figure that you want, and only focus the chatbot on that historic figure. And while I was doing this, to be honest, I did learn an interesting fact. I didn't know that Mahatma Gandhi was actually bullied as a child. So, there's something that I've learned from just by playing around with this. So as soon as I click on the start, it gives a little introduction. Namaste, young student. I'm Mahatma Gandhi, and gives a little bit about himself. And they can ask questions. For example, in one paragraph, tell me about your childhood. Let's see what it comes up with. So, I've learned that, he was a timid child. He was a little bit shy, and he was a little bit scared of his fellow students because they would tease him and this, that, the other. And, and then I asked, well, hang on, if he felt scared from his students, I asked him, well, were you bullied as a child? And it said, actually, he was. Let's just put that in. Were you bullied as a child? Sorry, my typing is a bit quick here, so it's probably going to be a bit wrong. Let's see what it comes up with. And it says, yes, I faced significant challenges during my childhood that would today be considered bullying. I was often mocked for being scrawny and very shy. So you see, they can, ask these questions, get facts. So that's another interesting one. Let's go back. And so here are my tools. This one here, this is a good one, which I put together for junior school students or, really young students in year 2. And this is for them to practice multiplication. Now you can say, are these students going to practice multiplication on their own? Maybe not, but maybe their parents would like them to practice. So if they have access to the room that you've given them, let's say a room with some bots with multiplication, addition, subtraction, division exercises for maths, they can actually, when they click on this, it will generate for them some simple questions with some pictures, because that's how I've set it up, and they can practice these questions together. So it's a good way to get parents involved in the learning of their children. And you can see you've got these here. You can ask for the answers. You can also ask for, let's say, another 2 questions. And it will just generate some more questions. So this is a nice way for students to, practice some skills, whether it's maths or any other topic. You can find all these different bots in there. So that's the student side. That's what the students will see with just 3 of these tools. I'm going to show you now how you can set this up very easily in Magic Student. So we've seen the student side. Let's go to the creating side, which the teacher would do. So I'm going to start from the beginning here. So from MagicSchool, when you go into MagicSchool, you're going to click here where it says Magic Student. And when you go to Magic Student, you're going to see these 3 buttons up here, your dashboard, where you see some of your, just a quick overview of your Magic Student area. You've got your student rooms. From here, you can see the different rooms that you've created and how many tools you have placed in that room and how many students have actually interacted with that room. So you can see here my year 10 and year 11 students, I've got 54 of them interacting, and there are 19 flags. Now, these flags normally mean that a student has probably asked for something which is off topic or repeated the same thing. It's just a little indication on their activity or their interaction with the bot. So I'm going to create a new chat room, which is what you will be doing. So now the tools, before I go there you go. These are all the tools that you can have in Magic Student. Play around with them, practice them yourself first, see what you would like and get some ideas on how you can use these bots with your students so that they can benefit from them. You can see I flagged these 3 as my favorites because these are the ones I wanted to find quickly. So from student rooms, I'm going to create a new room. Let's click on that. We're going to give it some information. For example, I'm just going to call this, let that start. I'm just going to give this, I don't know, say SoFIA, Nick room. So you will call this, I don't know, your year 3 math class or your year 10 RS class, whatever it was you call it. And if you put here the grade level, when you're going to be creating these bots, the way that the bot will interact with the user will be for students at this level. So it's good to put the level of the students that are going to be using this room and the tools in this room. Maximum students, leave it at 250. Because students do not require to have an account, then there's no authentication. So if a student logs in first and says he logs in with the name Nick, and then he logs in with the name Adam, it's seen as another student. So it's best to put the maximum number. You can increase this, I don't know, and put it up to 300. So that's the basic details. That's the name of the room. Now we can go to next. So from here, we can see all the tools that we can add in our room. And you can add the same tool multiple times. As you saw in my year 10 and 11 class, I added an AI resource bot 10 times. So let's go and add these resource bots that we want. The first one that I'm going to do, I'm going to add, so if I can't find it from here, I'm just going to put here AI resource. Here it is. So you've got a literacy bot, email responder. So I'm going to add that one. I'm also going to add the, where are we? A character chatbot. That's the one we did with Mahatma Gandhi. So character, there we go. I'm going to add that one as well. You can see I'm adding it at the top. And then I'm going to do the math review one. Okay, now if you've added one and you want to remove it, then you can just click on the minus sign here and remove it. So we've added these tools to the room. We go to next. So here we see two sections in this window. At the top, it says the customize tools. At the bottom, available to customize. Well, what we want to do now is to customize each tool. And that's what I'm going to do now so that you can understand how we customize these tools. So I'm going to click on the character chatbot now. And as soon as I click on that, it will open up the settings to train or to configure this chatbot. So this chatbot here, I'm going to say this is going to be so that I can identify it in my room. It's going to be an interview with Mahatma Gandhi. I'm going to give a small description because I may have many of these character chatbots in the same room, and just so that I can know what each one is for. Oh, let me just undo that. I think I copied that 2 times. There we go. Control C. And put that there. So it's just an interview with that. Here, you're going to choose the voice. So if they click on the read aloud and the voice it's going to read them to, whether you want a male or a female, you can choose a spokesperson. I will choose Sage because Mahatma Gandhi was male, so probably a male voice. And you can set the age group again. So even if you put an age group for this room, it's year 10, but now you want to give this, I don't know, answers as a different age group, you can. And that's basically it. Now, these little things here on the right-hand side, you can see what the chatbot's going to look like. And we can see here it says they can choose a different character. Well, I don't want them to do that. So I'm going to click on this little eye here. And that removes any configuring. So if I enable these eyes, that allows them to change the level and the character or the historic figure. Now, the only thing that I need to do now is just to put, well, which historic figure are they going to be talking to? So I'm just going to put that down here. So the character, author, historic figure, there we go. So now we're going to go to next. And now we can test our chatbot. So please, guys, always test the chatbot to see what you get is correct. So if I click on generate, this is what the students will see as soon as they start this bot. And I'm happy with that. And you can interact with it just to make sure that everything's okay. So once you've done that, you can click on save. We can see that this character bot up here is now under the customized tools because it has been customized. I'm going to customize the AI resource now. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to use some PDF. So I've got the book for the ICT course, and I simply scan the book as a PDF document. And I use those PDFs to train my bot. So I'm going to show you how we do that now. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to call this chapter 3, storage devices. Here where it says a description, I'm going to add a description of what this tool is going to be about. And now here's the important one, especially when you're doing something like this. Down here where it says instructions for the chatbot. So here what I've done, let me just zoom that in so you can see a bit clearer. I've said here, you're an ICT teacher teaching the Cambridge IGCSE ICT 0417 course. So if you've got a curriculum that you're following, it's good to put that because it's going to use that to base its answers on. So they don't get random answers. Your answers should be limited to the chapter of storage devices as per the course syllabus and the attached resources. Start the conversation with an outline of what is required to be learned in this chapter. Okay, so that's instructions. I'm using the ARIA voice, and this is for grade 10. Now, for the knowledge here, if I don't add resources, then it will use its AI engine and the learning model that it has to get the answers. Usually things, the background is like things like ChatGPT. But if you want to add resources, you can click on the attachment here, upload, and you can see here, I've got for this training, I've got some things here. So I've got a PDF. There's my PDF. It's on chapter 3. You can see that here. And it has OCR. So it's going to recognize the characters inside this PDF. And I've also got a Word document as well, which has, you know, things that I would normally give them as handouts or in electronic form. So I'm going to add these two as resources. So let's add the PDF. Click on open. Now, the bigger the PDF, the longer it takes. And you can see now what it's doing. It's opening the PDF and it's identifying all the characters that it can identify. And it will use that document or all the text it's identified as part of the resource to base answers on. So it will give answers from this PDF. So let's just wait that for it to upload. And while it's doing that, we can see on the right-hand side what the chatbot would look like. So there you go, it's uploaded it. So I'm also going to click on the attachment. And I'm also going to put another resource, the Word document as well. So you can add multiple resources. Now, you do have a limitation. The limitation is you're allowed to add documents up to, summing up to 775,000, I'm going to say words. Yes, words. So these two documents together are only 2,471 words. So I can add more documents providing that the total of the words that it's using is going to be under 75,000. Okay, great. Do I need to add anything else? No, but what I am going to do, because I don't want the students, I can see here on the right-hand side, I don't want the students to be able to modify or remove these resources. So again, I'm going to delete, I'm going to remove the I so they can't see the training or the configuration of this bot and they can't change it. I'm now going to go to next and I can generate. Now, it should give me a list of what's included in this chapter because that's what I asked for. So let's see what it does. There you go. So it's got here, they're going to be doing different types of data storage media, devices using read and write data, the 3 main storage technologies, and some more information. And now they can ask anything they want on this chapter. And as we have seen, it will only limit the answers to this topic. I'm going to click on save. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to show you how you can create the share links or the QR codes. So this one has also been customized. We're now going to go to Math Review. So this is going to be, we said we were doing one on practicing multiplication. We're going to give a description. So this is multiplication practice questions. This is for year 2. I asked a couple of teachers, or a teacher, what they were doing in maths currently right now. And they were doing multiplication with single digits. And then, of course, what is very important is the grade. So I'm going to put this down to 2nd grade. Number of problems, you can change this. So I'm just going to leave it for 5 for now. The math content. And this is where you're going to put your explanation of what it is you want it to do. Okay. Actually, sorry, the math content is what are we doing? And that's going to be multiplication. Okay. And then additional criteria, this is where we want to give it some additional information. So let me just zoom that in there. So I'll just put here problems with different levels of difficulty. Use single digit numbers for the problems. Use images to provide help for solving each question. So if you don't want the images, you just don't include that part in. Now, again, on the right hand side, you could, if you want, just leave this one here so that people or the students or the parents can change the number of problems they want to create. So I will leave that one just so we can see. Next. And there you go. So I can now change this from 5 to 10. So this is what the student will see. I'm going to leave that as 5 and click on generate to test it. As I said, always make sure you test. And if you want to make changes, I'll show you that now. So I'm just going to go to back. So if I wanted to make changes, I can go back, make changes, and then I can go next and test it again. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to click on save. So I've now customized all the tools which I added to this room, which is great. I can now launch the room up here, top right corner. Fantastic. And you're given this, so you can create a join URL. You can create a Google Classroom. So if you use Google Classroom, you can create an assignment based on that, or you can use a QR code. I'm going to close that because I want to show you how you can create them afterwards. So we've created the room. If I now go back, so I'm in Magic, let's go directly from Magic Student, go to my student rooms. Here we go. Here's the one that we just created, the SoFIA Nick room. Now, from here, I can edit the room name. I can see I've got the 3 tools. No students have logged in yet. And if I go to actions, I can, from here, click on edit room. So if I want to add another tool or remove it, so if I go to edit room, I can change the name, the level, go to next. I can add tools or remove tools. If I go to next, I can change the configuration of a tool from here. So let's say, I want to make some changes to that. You can go and edit it. And when you're finished with that, you can just click on save and that's saved. And once you've done all your changes, just click on update room. So that's how you would edit the room, add tools, remove tools, or edit the current tools. If I now want to create the link to share with my students from Magic Student, so we can go directly from here, Magic Student, go to my student rooms, click on the ... and here you've got show join info. So you can always find that information here. So you can create a QR code. So if you scan this right now on your screen or on your phone, it will take you, I'm just going to leave that there for 2 seconds. It will take you to that room and you can actually see those 3 tools and interact with it. Okay, so if you've taken that, by all means, take a scan there. I'm going to also create a join link. And I'm going to put this in the chat. So if you do want to put that there, there you go. Now, putting that in the chat. Now, I've just seen a nice question. Right, fantastic question. Can I use a video as a resource? Well, I'll show you here. But I'm going to show you what you can do. So if I was to edit this room, not go to it. Let's just go back. Edit the room. Next. So if I go to next to modify this resource here and I click on that, it basically only allows you website, OneDrive, Google Drive, or files and images. So no, you can't. But yes, you can. How can you do that? Well, if you go to, let's say, a video, let's say we're going to go on, I don't know, say World War I. Helen thought I was going to go and show my YouTube channel there, but I'm not, you see. Right, so if we've got this video here, World War I. Now, I've got to remember how I do this. From here, let's just let that load up. Skip. So you can, from here, I've got to remember here. I know, where is it? Report download. Is it in the share? Nope. I've got to remember, you can put the transcript. I'm going to find it here. I've actually got It's somewhere in here. Where's the transcript? If anyone can remember directly where the transcript is of the video, is it this one? No, report, subscribe. You can actually produce a transcript of the video. So even if you've got a video in another language, you can do that. In fact, I'm going to put this in my sway. So if I can't get back to it, and then what you do, you can copy that transcript and paste it in a Word document and then use that Word document as your resource. But I just want to remember how we go with... Is it in here? Email to... Nope. No, it's in the view. No, I can't remember now. It's just a little button here, but they keep changing this as well, and I keep forgetting where the transcript is. So you can generate the transcript. Let me see. Generate. Let's have a look. Someone's put something. Can you upload? Nope. Need to generate track. Click the 3 dots below the video next to the share button. Select show transcript. Oh, there it is. All right. So where's the 3 dots? Below the share and no. Anyway, it's there somewhere in the info below. Oh, here we go. Someone's helping me out here. Thank you very much. So let's try this again. So it should be in the info below. It should be somewhere here. But for some reason, it should be...
Further down.
Further down. Where down? I'm stuck. Who screamed out further down? Right at the bottom.
It's me, Annabelle.
In the description.
There should be a blue button.
There you go. You see, I keep...
indication transcript.
There you go. Down here. There you go. Thank you very much. And for someone who's got a YouTube channel, there you go. There's your transcript on that. For someone who's got a YouTube channel, I'm not very good with YouTube. So what you can do here, you can actually select this. Control A, Control. Let's not do that. Let's click on that there. All of that, you can copy all of that, paste that all. There we go. Way all the way up there. Control C. Go to a Word document. And it's pasting. There you go. It's pasting here. And once you've pasted that in your Word document, you can simply save it and attach the Word document. And that's it. You've now just given a resource from a video. And that's also a trick you can do with, if it decides to paste in there in a second. So let me just go back until it finishes. When you're using things like MagicSchool and you want to do a YouTube summarizer, they don't allow the YouTube summarizer anymore. I think there was an issue with YouTube and MagicSchool. So they weren't allowing to do that anymore. So in the MagicSchool, where you've got the YouTube summarizer, it's actually not that one. You have to, it actually tells you here how to do that because you're not allowed to put the URL anymore. So that's one little trick you can do there. Can you see YouTube transcript? How do I, you see, I could have done that and I wouldn't have looked stupid, wouldn't I? So how do I get transcript? You can click on that and it actually shows you how to do it. There you go. So that's one way you can use that as a resource. Right. That's about it, guys. I think we're right on, well, just a little bit over time, which is pretty good for me.
It is excellent. It is excellent. Thank you so much. That was super, super interesting. We do have one more question in the chat. It came in when we first experimented with the interview with the interview tool, and someone said, how can we be sure that the answers that they get to the interview questions are real and not just hallucination of the tool?
Right. So the tool is actually based on AI. And this is why I say whenever you generate a tool, test it. You have to test it. But MagicSchool is designed for an educational environment. So it is very, very, it's scrutinized quite a bit by many, many schools and many, many educators. So the algorithm behind it is designed to work on a school environment. So even if students try to ask obscene questions or try to ask some things which are beyond the scope, I've even had students saying, can you please answer this exam question? It won't do it for them. It will give them an explanation so that they can learn how to answer it. So this is a good thing with MagicSchool and the difference with ChatGPT, because it is focused on schools. But you can't trust anything 100%. You have to test it before you actually give it to your students. Helen, what do we call that? Go on, put your mic on. Dog feeding. We don't dog feed our students. There you go. We don't dog feed. So we don't just rely on it, open the can and throw it in a pot like we do with our dogs. You've got to taste it first. You've got to play around with it. You've got to make sure that it's a good tool. You've got to make sure that it is. And what I did with my students, I told them, try and break it. Try and make it do something it shouldn't. And they loved it, but they didn't realize they were learning at the same time. So but they were reading the responses to see whether they were actually able to get something it wasn't supposed to respond, which was great.
Excellent. I don't know if there are any other questions for Nico. I don't know how to thank you. That was brilliant. I think we are all looking forward, like, go and experiment with the tool tonight. And thank you very much for living this way for us. I will leave it in the description of the YouTube video when we upload it tomorrow. Thank you everybody for joining us for another Learning Bite. We love this short format of workshops where we get our hands on work information and knowledge. We will see you in the next one. Thank you very much.
See you later, guys. Bye.